Like ved Kanariøyene på Afrikas fastland lærer Europa sine egne kortsiktige interesser gå foran prinsipper om menneskerettighet og fred. Velkommen til SANDFAST, vår podkast om Vest-Sahara, den siste kolonien på det afrikanske kontinent. Hun var bare 10 år da faren ble dømt til 15 år i fengsel, og hennes yngste søster var bare 9 måneder gammel. I dag er Fatou 23 år. Helt siden hun var barn har hun tatt på seg kampen for farens frihet. Den saharawiske politiske fangen Yahya sitter fortsatt bak murene. I dag skal vi høre om hvordan det er å være den unge datteren til en politisk fange i okkuperte Vest-Sahara. Hi Fatou, welcome to this episode, and I'm very happy and I'm very thankful that you could join me today.
Happy to. Hello Asriya, hello everyone. I'm also so happy for this opportunity, so thank you.
Fatou, I want to talk to you both because of your work as an activist and because of the story of your father. So let's take the first part first. And could you give an introduction about yourself?
Yes, sure. My name is Fatou Yayha Mohammed Hafez. I'm 20 years old, a young Sahrawi who defends human rights in Western Sahara and the freedom of my people. Also, I'm a member of the Sahrawi League for Protection of Sahrawi Prisoners. Our work is to follow the Sahrawi prisoners and also their family. I'm a part of an online platform called Young Sahrawi Against Occupation. We are a group of young from occupied territory and diaspora and camps. We try to block the media blockade in Western Sahara. Also, the daughter of Sahrawi political prisoner Yahya Mohammed Hafez.
And speaking about your father, Yahya Mohammed Hafez, and he's a Sahrawi prisoner who stayed longest in prison. First, let's talk about your father's story, and later on we will talk about how this affects you and your family, and also about your story is example of the other Sahrawi families. Your father, Fatou, he was tried, arrested in 2008, and he was sentenced to 15 years by Moroccan court. I mean, first, why and how and what happened exactly?
So I sure like all the prisoner because of his opinions and because he was one of activists in Western Sahara, a defender of human rights in occupied territory of Western Sahara. Also, he was a member of CODESA.
Yeah, and what happened? What was the story of his arrest?
When the Moroccan police arrested my father in 2008, I was 10 years old. I remember well the day as if yesterday. My father was driving my little brother to a gym. 3 police cars stopped him in Tantan City and arrested him in front of my brother. Just imagine the front of my brother, who was then 7 years. I repeat that, 7 years old. And they left my brother alone in the street. So this day is the 1st March 2008. So it's 14 years.
And your father, he was arrested for his political opinions. You are the oldest in your family, which naturally and traditionally, especially in Sahrawi society, that the oldest is the person who carry all the responsibility. So you are the one who's in contact with your father, but I was reading about your father. He is suffering in prison. Could you talk about how he is treated and like how he's for 13 years he has been like taken from prison to prison. He has been suffering from health issues, and yeah, could you talk more about that?
My father was sentenced to 15 years since 2008, and he's still in the prison to this day. He fought a lot of open hunger strikes in order to demand the most basic of his rights, such as being close to the family, eating, drinking, and relaxing. He was taken to a group of prisons very far from where his family was. We would travel a long distance for see him for 10 minutes, just for 10 minutes. Or we could not give him a picture, a magazine, or books. He was not even allowed to give him just, for example, traditional clothes, books, nothing.
Traditional clothes is Sahrawi Dara'a, and why? Why even not allowed to give a traditional cloth?
This is a type of punishment, to insult him even more to outside, and like this, he can remember their family, their traditional things, but is not working.
Yeah, and Fatou in prison, your dad, he has health problems. Does he get any medical attention or any medical treatment?
Yes, but imagine with me, my sister Asria, that my father suffers from a group of diseases such as asthma, rheumatism, kidney, and prostate, and they prevent him from his right to treatment and medication. Like example, my father he can't see very good. He wear the glasses. 2 years ago, he was assaulted and his glasses broke. For 2 years, he demanded to see an eye doctor in order to get a new glasses. But the prison administration refused to do so anytime they refuse. So this is just one of a lot of examples.
I mean, I watched an interview with you, Fatou, and it was about that your father was all the time taken to a new prison. It's like thousands of kilometers from your family, and you said in Arabic, it said it was psychological torture for him, but also for you as his family.
I'm a young. My mother can travel, but imagine his father, his mother. So this is a type of punishment. This is something very bad of the prisoner. He can't see his father, his mother, nothing. So this is very difficult to be in the far prison.
Which is just for the people listening, which is also the situation of all Sahrawi prisoners, where Morocco will transfer them to prison that's far away from their families. Okay, Fatou, I'm just showing you this picture, and I remember when I took contact with you years ago to learn more about the story of your father. Could you explain to people listening who is in the picture and what is going on?
Oh, this is a nice picture. I want to say something. This is the only picture who I was in this age with my father. So this is a special picture for me. I love this picture very much. So this is me and my father and the team of football. He took me with him to watch football, and also we take this picture for use it as souvenir.
He was playing football and they took this picture as a souvenir. Here, Fatou, the people who are listening, you see actually Fatou, a young girl. She seems very happy and cheerful. It seems that she is the biggest fan of her father, who unfortunately has been for prison for many, many, many years. And all of a sudden, it's in a way taken away from you. So, Fatou, I want to go to this question, and you were only 9, and your brother was also very, very young, and this must have a huge effect on your life and on growing up as a child and your brothers. How did this affect you?
My brother and I live through hardships since the arrest of my father, and we are surrounded by the Moroccan police who sometimes follow us and watch us until we reach school. And this caused a great embarrassment in front of our friends, who always ask me and my brother, why the police car in front of your house? And also sometimes they are afraid of us. Today, as Asriya, I'm talking to you, and I'm at 23 years old. I was deprived of my father for 14 years. My brothers and I were deprived of his tenderness and kindness to us. We were deprived of being like all the children of man, of world, living in a family consisting of two parents. How can I say that they took my father of us? They stole our childhood of us.
Yeah. And just speaking about stolen childhood, because you said from the beginning of the introduction, and also when we talked days ago, that you didn't live like childhood or teenage years as a normal teenager. You had to be already an activist, and you told me that you did your first TV reportage when you were only 13 years old. Could you talk about that? Like, that you actually, as a child, you are already TV reporter, or you are active in subject that it's bigger than you?
I was just 13 years old. I want to do that for two reasons. Firstly, because it was the job of my father, and also I don't want Morocco to succeed a silence of the Sahrawi people. And also, I want to try something who I like it, to be a defender of my people, to be a human rights activist, to be a journalist, to be something who do a better of my people.
And that is very brave, especially when you are only 13 years old. I was going to school, most people it's about school. But for you, it was more than that. And I mean, you are just a child, 13 years old, you're still going to school. Did you ever experience any type of bullying or harassment, either from your fellow classmates or from, for example, teachers or others?
Yeah, I remember something. I had to take the responsibility from my childhood in order to be strong in front of people my age. But Moroccans who tell me that my father is a criminal. They tell me that in publish in the school, your father is a criminal. That's why he's in prison all these years. So this is for me. I was 13 years or 14 years. I have an idea of the cause. I have an idea that my father is not a criminal. But imagine if my brother or my little sister hear something like that. This is very hard, and this is very difficult to accept.
Yeah, so you were told that your father is a criminal. What about, I mean, you were 9 years old when your father was arrested, and your brother today he's 20 years old. How old was your youngest sister when her father was arrested?
Ah, this is a hard thing. She had 9 months. 9 months. She didn't live with him for more than 9 months.
And she never met him.
Never.
Yeah. And this is Fatou. I mean, you are a member of the Sahrawi League for the Protection for Sahrawi political prisoners, and your story, in a ways, it's like the same or similar to the story of
the same of all the family of political prisoner, the same of all the daughters and the son of the political prisoner.
What do you want? What do you demand from people who are listening or from the world?
I have a message. So, firstly, I demand the support, not just with my father, with all the political prisoners in the Morocco prison. Also, I demand the support of my people who suffering every day in occupied territory in Western Sahara, specifically my sister Sultana Khaya and their family. I demand the freedom of my people. I demand of the Morocco to respect the human rights in occupied territory of Western Sahara.
And Fatou, when will be your father released?
2023.
23.
The March, 1st March. I wish.
Yeah. But that is the time that you are expecting. Yeah. Fatou, thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you for sharing your story. I know it's not easy, and I want just people listening. You can follow Fatou and her group on Instagram, which is Sahrawi Youth Against Occupation. All the best.
Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you.
In the end, just a reminder or tips that we have already covered this topic, the topic of the Sahrawi political prisoners in the episode number 7. In the episode number 7, we talk with the Sahrawi human rights activist Hassan Abba, who talk in details about the everyday lives of Sahrawi political prisoners and their families. Hvis du vil lære mer om konflikten, gå til vest-sahara.no.